Hello, my name is Kate. Welcome to my channel. I have been posting short form content on here and on Instagram and TikTok for a little while, but I way prefer long form content as a viewer and in my own life. So I wanted to start making some longer videos and try and get a feel for what kind of content I can make that is longer, because I love watching vlogs and longer YouTube videos. So in today's video, I'm hoping to take you along for a bit of a week in the life, cozy hobby vlog, what I make in a week kind of thing. I'm about to go on break for uni and I have a lot of free time, a lot of different projects that I want to work on. So I thought I would try and film some of those. My main deterrent with making longer videos is that I still have to get comfortable talking to the camera, and I also don't know what music to use because I know it can be hard to get copyright free music. So hopefully I can find something good for this video. I think it's always more fun watching videos when you feel like you know the people or just having a bit of context. So just a little bit about me, since this is only my second video on this channel besides shorter form content. I am 23. I am in my last year of uni and I love anything cozy hobbies. I love being home, and the main thing that I like to do is crochet. I taught myself to crochet a couple of years ago and it's what I spend most of my free time doing. I like making things for myself, for my friends, and I do sell some things that I make on Depop. I'll have linked in the description. But crocheting is my main kind of hobby that I have, but I do obviously like to do other craft and activities as well. I just thought it would be a good time to film bits and pieces of what I get up to and show you some of the things that I'm working on. In this bucket is all of my current projects that I'm working on, crochet wise, and I don't know if I will touch all of them, any of them in this video, but just for some context, because this is probably the kinds of things you'll be seeing, I did get some footage of me working on this yesterday, so I might put that in here. This is a little scrap bag that I'm making, a little tote bag. I did think about halfway through that I could make it like a laptop case, but my original plan was a bag, so I'm going to stick with it. But I've just been double stranding scrap yarn with this blue so that it's somewhat consistent all the way throughout, but then the scraps kind of make the pattern and the stripes. So I made probably about this much progress on this last night while chatting with my housemate for 4 hours straight, and yeah, so I'm probably gonna try and finish this up soon. I don't actually know how many blue scraps I have left, but I'm gonna try and work my way through those. Another big project I've been working on is this pullover. So it's just like cropped little sweater with stripes, and I've done the front and the back panel, so I just need to connect them and then do the sleeves. So I do want to try and get this done because winter is coming to a close, and even though it is holy, so I can still get use out of it in the spring, I do want to try and get it done because it is more of a winter project as soon as possible. So hopefully I can work on that. I am not looking forward to weaving in these ends, but I will deal with that later. I do have another mesh pullover sweater thing that I ran out of yarn for, so if I can get some of that yarn this week, and then I'll definitely be working on that as well. So on this bag, as I said, I am just double stranding with the main colour and then the scrap yarn and just tying on every time I run out, and I'm just doing a half double crochet stitch. I am following a pattern for the straps, and I'll put the name on screen or the link in the description, but I can't remember it off the top of my head because now that I've got the base shape, I've just been working it up, and it's the same stitch over and over in the round, but I am getting to a reasonable height, so I'll probably be starting on the strap soon, and then I'll have to use the pattern. This is a fun project because even though it is just the same stitch over and over, I don't particularly mind that. I think part of the fun of crocheting is that you kind of get to switch your brain off and just do something methodical, and then you end up with something cute at the end. But because it is changing colors, it is still kind of exciting, and I feel like I have worn through a couple of my tote bags, so I wouldn't mind having a new one that I made. And because it is double-stranded, it's quite sturdy and stiff, which does mean that my wrists are feeling it when I'm working on this. I've been trying to commit to getting through more of my whips, because I do have a bit of a habit of starting things and then running out of yarn and never getting the yarn and putting it away, or getting distracted with making things for other people, things like that. So I'm trying to bring down, you would have seen that tub is quite big, so I'm trying to empty it out a little bit so that I have more room to do new things, can be a bit more creative. So I'm just going to be working on this a little bit today, but I do think I'm running low on scrap, so I'm going to have to raid my collection and see what blue yarn could work for the rest of the bag. Not that you would know without me saying, but I haven't filmed for this video in a couple of days because I've been sick and I've been traveling. I did bring the bag that I've been working on with me, and I've got some yarn to potentially make a little bag, another one like in a mesh market bag kind of style. Then I've also got yarn to make a scarf for my boyfriend's mum, and potentially a little hat for her as well, depending on how much yarn I have and if I can work out the pattern, because I'm trying to go off a video that's in a different language, so we'll see. But I'll try and get some footage over the next few days, and yeah, we'll see how we go. So it's been a while since I've actually talked to the camera and gone through a little update. I filmed a clip the other day, but I don't know if I'll actually put it in. But basically, I started filming sometime last week, and then I was traveling. I'm visiting family and was sick, so I wasn't really doing much, but I have gotten quite a few clips over the past couple of days. A little rundown of what I've been working on. So I mainly showed this bag at the start of the video. I haven't done a whole lot on this because I'm trying to decide at what point I want to do the straps, because it is quite wide. So I feel like it needs to be taller to be an appropriate tote bag size, but it is also kind of like a book bag style strap that I'm doing. So I don't know if it'll look better kind of lower down and wider rather than being taller. So I'm kind of at that point where I might start doing straps. So I've stopped on that. That's kind of the progress I've got for that, which I think you've basically seen. And then I also have been working on, I've gotten a lot of clips of that. I don't have it with me now. I made a black scarf for my boyfriend's mum. So I've been working on that, gave that to her. So that's what I've mostly been doing while I'm here. And then I also went to Spotlight while I was here because they have different stock than what I have at my local one. I have a project that I've been working on, a little mesh top. I might try and put a picture here if I remember. There was a sale and I had a $10 off voucher as well. So I got 2 of this feels like alpaca teal yarn, and I'm using this as well as this 4-ply yarn. So I ran out of yarn for that, so I grabbed 2 more of each of these. I think I will only need 1, but I really don't want to have to buy more, so 2 should definitely cover it. So I got 2 of each of those, and then I also, these were half price, and I really like this cotton yarn. This is what this is made out of, and I've enjoyed wearing this. So I just decided to grab this color here. And I do have another pink, but it's a much cooler pink, more like this kind of cool tone purple, whereas this is a bit warmer. I just saw them on the shelves, knew that I was getting $10 off, they were half price already, and I just like these colors. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with them. I have a green, a lighter pink, and 1 more of this purple left over from this project. So that's what I got at Spotlight. And then I finished the scarf. The other yarn I brought, I wish I had the yarn with me, but I've used up all the yarn I had. I've decided to just freehand a little crop top vest tie-up top thing. I saw a couple of different pictures on Pinterest. I'll put in some inspiration pictures here. And it's the start of spring now, so I want to start making some smaller like crop tops and things like that to wear in the summer. And also I want to start selling more things because I only really have bandanas and scrunchies on my Depop at the moment. So I want to start seeing if there's other smaller items that I can still justify selling, because something like this takes too long and people wouldn't pay for that probably. So anyway, I had this really cute little, I think it's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic yarn in this lovely variegated color. So I've just been doing kind of like a mesh stitch pattern. It looks quite small. It's one of those things where I'm kind of just, because I'm not following a pattern, I'm just have an idea in my head of what I want it to look like. I'm just going to see how I go. But I'm thinking this is kind of the back panel. The idea is for it to be kind of like a vest top that goes over like a cute little crop top or singlet, camisole, that kind of thing. So my thought process is this is the back panel, and then this is what I've got for the front so far, which is just the same pattern. I've run out of yarn. I've got 2 more balls of these at home, so I'll keep working on it when I get home. But I'm thinking, I've had a couple of variations where you can either tie it at the front or tie it at the sides. So having 2, like a front and a back panel, and then they connect to the sides with a tie. So you just need a kind of seam across the top, or seaming with sleeves and then having little ties in the front. So I decided for my first thing that I'm just basing completely off my own brain, I thought it would probably be easiest to do just 2 front and back panels and then tie at the sides. This has been fun. I always follow a pattern, so it's fun. Even though it's super easy and just repeat stitches, it's fun to just see how I go and try and make something based off kind of the ideas in my head and what I've seen online. So yeah, worked on those, got through those 2 balls yesterday. But yeah, I've done quite a bit of crocheting while I've been here, and I'm excited to get back home and get back into the other whips I've got. Obviously now I've got this yarn so I can finish this project, and I've got another granny stitch sweater that I want to try and finish so that I can actually get some wear out of it before it gets too hot, because it is going to start warming up fairly soon. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, and I will check back in when I'm back home. Hello, I thought I would do a little check-in while I am crocheting. I'm really bad. I need to get better at keeping track of what I've actually filmed and said, but I know I definitely filmed when I was back at home and now with my family, and now I am back in my own home. I have been working on some bits and pieces today. I went for brunch with my girlfriends and we were just kind of chatting and doing a little bit of knitting and crocheting. So I have been working on the second panel of this little vest top that I'm making, and I also was working on this little hat that I'm trying to make, but it is massive and not working out how I hoped. So I think I'm gonna have to undo some of it. Yeah, because I think this is meant to be 18 centimeters, but I think this is just a much stretchier yarn than the one that the pattern used that I was referring to. So I'll see how we go, but I have been working on this. I probably will finish this video soon, just because I think I've gone over quite a few days now. So I don't want to get too repetitive, and I am kind of losing track of exactly what I've been saying. So I think I will try and get this vest done in the scope of this video, and I might do a little bit more on my sweater, which I was hoping to get some progress done on. And then I will hopefully see you in another video. I also had quite a bit of time when I was away just to be bored and to kind of think through some different videos that I want to make, and kind of just about filming in general and how I want to try and do more videos if I can. And that I would love to get to a place where I have my own shop set up. I want to be able to really commit to it and, you know that I've put my full effort into giving it a go. So I think I've only got a few more rows left on this, and then I'm gonna do probably just 1 or 2 rows of kind of like a shoulder panel, because I'll just connect it straight stitch across the top, so it'll be very boxy anyway, but I just want a little bit more room for my neck to go. And then I'll probably just crochet in some little like single crochet ties or something like that, so that it can tie up on the sides. Once I have the pieces together, I can kind of have a better look and see how it sits on. So I'm probably gonna work on this the rest of the night, probably into tomorrow, and I will check in with you when I can. Here with a little wrap up, because I think I've filmed quite a bit now and it's the end of the week, so it just feels like a good place to stop, and then I can start fresh with another video. Yeah, I'm just going to chat through what I've managed to finish and where I'm at with my different projects, and that'll be the video. I think I mentioned, but if I didn't mention earlier, I have been making a bunch of different reggae themed things for my boyfriend's mum. She's going on a reggae cruise and she bought yarn for me to make a bunch of things with. So I've already given her a shawl and 2 scarves, the black scarf that I have talked about in this video. And then she sent me a little pattern for a little hat, which I haven't actually tried it on with braids. I feel like this probably won't get anywhere. It didn't really work out how I wanted it to, but I've made that, so I will give it to her and see if she wants to wear it. But yeah, just like a little mesh cap thing. And then I also decided to make a bandana. I make a lot of bandanas. I haven't actually in a long time, so it's kind of fun. But super easy with the cotton yarn, and it's fairly small, but I'm hoping because it is spaced out and it is quite a drapey yarn that it will still sit okay. Yeah, it's kind of small, but I think it works. So I've got both of those, and I'll probably make a couple more of these because I do still have a bit of yarn left. And then my final update is finishing this little pullover tie top. I finished this last night and I haven't actually tried it on. So I think what I've learned from this is my first time freehanding something, so I think I am going to try and adjust it if I can, but also just use it as kind of like a testing phase, because I've realised these are definitely a bit shorter than I would want them, and this is sitting right under my armpit here. So I might play around with blocking it and see how it goes. So it's close to what I want, but it's not quite right, but that's okay. I'm going to use this as a lesson. But I do really love the colour, so I might try and salvage this and redo the last little bits and pieces because I do quite like it. Yeah, in theory, little vest done as well. And then that's all. The scrappy bag I will work on adding a strap to soon. I've got the sleeves and a lot of connecting to do on my pullover, which I don't actually know if I ever even ended up showing in this video, so if I did, great, but if I didn't, that is why, because I ended up not really working on it and I didn't take it with me when I was traveling. So basically this week has just ended up being quite a lot of crocheting, but lots of learning, lots of thinking about different new things that I can make in the process, making things for other people. So hopefully in the next video I can make even more progress on more projects and keep working on potentially making some patterns or tutorials for things that I am coming up with myself. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.